Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. And this is Answering Your Financial Questions Live, episode number 191. I'm Coach Steve Money. And I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Make sure I'm pointing at the right direction. Yes, I am. Okay. Alrighty. And my financial content, you're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. My financial content is right below the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist. You'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and there is one of those going to happen in the morning at 11:05 a.m. after the newest to YouTube Ramsey Show is done. That starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And then I start right after, again, 11:05 Eastern Time. And that is in the ticker below. Answering Your Financial Questions playlist as well. Today, as I said, number 191. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in them, including the newest one, When You're on Baby Step Down. No spending money to seem cool. Bum, bum. When you're on Baby Step Down. All right, let's get into some questions. It's time for the budget question of the day. Boo, boo. Can I afford a new car? Again, these people not necessarily following Dave Ramsey. It seems like with the wording of some of the questions on here. This is the budget subreddit, reddit.com/r/budget. And with the wording that some people put in their posts, it would seem that they are following Dave Ramsey's plan, his advice, baby steps, etc. But all of them are certainly not. But of course, the Ramsey advice is what I'm going to be giving. And can you afford a brand new car? Okay, so a brand new car, that's probably going to be a no, especially if you have to ask. But you don't buy a new car unless you're a millionaire, because otherwise you can't take the depreciation. It depreciates way too much. So we get the monthly budget breakdown to see total monthly expenses $7,868. That's not a light amount. Monthly take-home pay after taxes and 401k, $9,745. So that leaves what, $2,100 of margin. Monthly car allowance, tax benefit, $675. VA disability, tax-free, $175 a month. Total regular monthly income, excluding bonuses, $10,595. Budget surplus, excluding bonus, $2,727.49. Monthly bonus, okay, averaged over 12 months, $2,231. Since it's a bonus, you don't count it though. You don't count it because they could at any point say, well, we're not doing the bonus anymore. So 12,000, just do 10,000. Regardless, none of that has anything to do with anything. The yearly salary would matter because everything you own with wheels and motors should only be 50% of your income. Housing is 3834. Mortgage is 3217. What What and what? If you have rental property, you're definitely not doing it. If more in a mortgage on it, you're doing it wrong. Let's see what we're doing here. Homeowners insurance, property tax, HOA, utilities, phones, only one phone, 150. Electric, 75. Sewer garbage, 75. Internet is free. How do you get free internet, my man? Water is $66. Miscellaneous / fixed, $3,217. You need to be more intentional in your budget than just having a $3,000 miscellaneous / fixed. We need to know what that is. Food, $1,500. Doesn't say how many people in the household. Car insurance, gas. Debt payment, $650. So that's a no. You do not need a new car. You need to pay off your debt. So again, the person's not doing it and debt leverage, probably wants to finance a car, and that's what he means by can he afford the payments, which is different than can you afford the car. And so you cannot afford the car. As I said, you have to buy a brand new car, you have to be $1 million net worth. A millionaire is what that is. Kids goes 50. So it's a lot of expenses, dog. 401k contribution. Okay, so do you have enough cash to pay for the car? If you do not, then you cannot afford the car in question. Okay, and this person answering it as kind of like Dave would, but he left out the part of it can't be new either unless you're a millionaire. And also, even if you are a millionaire, it needs to be everything you have with wheels and motors in it needs to be less than half of your annual income. Fun times. Oh, let's see if there's another one. Let's see what the next one is. Tips on budgeting a weekly expense. Let's see what the problem is. A second budget question of the day. My husband and I recently had to put our son in daycare previously on budget. We budgeted for the 1st and the 15th. We get paid bi-weekly, and the months where we'd get a third paycheck would be a little bonus. Now we added his daycare, which is paid weekly, and I'm having trouble figuring out an effective way to add it in the budget. Any tips? Alrighty. Well, you could put the amount in. Instead of having the amount for 1 week, you could put the amount for 2 weeks in there. And basically, as far as your budget's concerned, you have it paid a week ahead. And then you just pay it later. Or you can pay the second week in advance, whatever you want to do. So that you're completely caught up with your budget. So either one of those, this probably be the easiest way to do it. Fun times. Alrighty, and we're giving the Dave Ramsey subreddit a little break. Let it replenish, because we ran out of questions recently. So letting it replenish there. Probably doing too many streams is what that means, generally. And they only have 1,000 questions at a time on there, and apparently I used them all up. So these questions are coming from an alternate source. The Ramsey Baby Steps Community is the name of it, and that is on the Facebook. And that is the only such forum that is run by Ramsey Solutions. The Dave Ramsey subreddit is not run by Ramsey Solutions. Any other Ramsey groups on the Facebook are not run by Ramsey Solutions. Run by fans, and I would I don't think any of them, the subreddit people that run it, are fans. So it's not like they just started it to troll Dave or to pick it as advice, something like that. That seems like that's a waste of time where you would create something just to crap on it, crap on something particular. Why wouldn't you instead seek out something you believe in or enjoy or something like that? Anyway, so again, this comes from the Ramsey Baby Steps community, and I copy and paste them because you can see their real names because it's Facebook. Most of them you can see the real names of the person. So I just copy and paste the question. When you get into a breakup, but you just signed a lease for an apartment together, beep, 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 doo. What's the best way to get out that? They have move out. My take home $3,300 from my main job and maybe make another $500 in side hustles every month. Rent is $1,319. That feels very tight. Yes, it does. And this crap is the exact reason why you don't do anything involving money, including move in together, until you're married. Of course, when you're married, somebody can also bounce as well, and there can also be a breakup as well if you get married. But being married, that at least puts you legally together a little bit more than just moving in, even if both of you are on the lease. Now, what would be the dumbest crap of all is if you signed the lease yourself and it was just letting him live there and you got the extra money from him. That's even dumber. But like, there's no right way to do that. You would not do that. But like, if you were leasing with roommates, they would all have their names on the lease, and so you would have to make sure that the apartment does allow that as well, and make sure that they won't come after you for the money. Because how that generally works out, the person that bounces doesn't care about if their credit gets ruined or whatever, so they're not trying to pay anything they owe. And so it leaves it all to the responsible person, takes all of the hit on the money that they are out. So rent is 13, so that might be 40%. Getting close to 40%, and that's going to be too high. Well, let's see, if after the side hustle is 3,800, I mean, you could probably swing it if you really like that apartment, but you also could just move and maybe save some money and get a cheaper apartment. So that would be up to you if you want to do that. Also, if he's on the lease, then you need to fix that with the, if you're going to stay, fix that with the landlord so that only your name is on it. And if he has a key, change the lock. Have the landlord change the lock. Cashed in and closed our investment account to pay off some debt. A little nauseous, but sometimes doing the right thing is hard, right? Well, sure, but if it's your 401k, if it's a retirement account, it was not the right thing to do. If it's a brokerage account, yes, any brokerage account, any high yield savings, what else would you have? That's probably about it. Any regular savings account. All of that would be taken down to just $1,000 starter emergency fund while you pay off all your debt with it. You should not have any extra savings or investments at all while you have debt. You shouldn't even be contributing to your 401k in a retirement account. You shouldn't even be doing that. That's step 4. Paying off debt is on step 2. Non-mortgage debt, step 2. So you're doing it wrong. Take a quick look here. Step 2 is where you're paying off the non-mortgage debt. And step 4 would be investing for retirement. So that's a no. But I'll miss the match. Yes, you will, because you were dumb and had debt. And now stop being dumb. Pay off your debt. And then when that's paid off, and then after that, you save up your full emergency fund, then it'll be time to invest again. How about that? And you can put all of that money that you previously were putting into, actually, you should only be doing 15% until you have kid college taken care of, and also paid off mortgage. You shouldn't have a brokerage account or extra investing or extra savings other than sinking funds for known upcoming expenses until the house is paid off as well. So if it's just a brokerage account, yes, it was the right thing to do. And people love to have a bunch of savings and a bunch of debt at the same time. It's dumb as crap. We are currently a 2-income household. I'm thinking of saving 3 to 5 years of separate savings to apply to my mortgage to keep it around 25% of my income. To keep it around that? What's going to make it keep it around that? Oh, if you go down to a 1 income? So she can stay home for a while to have a child. Would you guys do this, or are there other options you guys would suggest? Sell it and buy a cheaper house? But see, you wouldn't save money and then apply big chunks to the mortgage, even if you're trying to pay it off early. So yeah, so that's going to be a no. 3 to 5 years of separate savings to apply to my mortgage to keep it around 25 so she can stay at home for a while. I mean, is that going to be 3 years down the road? How about you just downgrade house then? Just downgrade house and then you don't have to do that. My parents aren't great. And you could even wait until there actually is a child on the way to sell the house. Because you never know. You might not be able to have a child. You don't know. And then you might have to think of, might have to do other things like an in vitro or adoption or something like that. So you don't try to get 8 steps ahead because of a situation that you don't know exactly what's going to happen in. My parents aren't great with money. Is the total money makeover a good Christmas gift, or is that kind of passive aggressive? My husband and I are in baby step 2. Yeah, it's totes pass aggress for sure. If you have talked with them about the baby steps, the Ramsey advice, just like in general, and they showed no interest, I'm probably not going to do that. And the best thing to do probably is to just come out and ask. You can tell them you're doing this. You're on baby step 2. You're paying off all the debt. And if they don't sound interested in it at all, then all you can do is be a good role model for them. You do it. And you can certainly, once you're out of step 2, you can let them know, hey, remember that all the debt paying off thing? We're done now. And so now we're going to go and build our 3 to 6 months of expenses full emergency fund. And then see if they want to know. But yeah, in general, Mr. Ramsey loves to say that once someone has changed your diaper, they don't want to hear from you about money or sex ever. So, but you can try. You can try, but just giving them the book, I'm assuming, yeah, they're not great with money, so probably a lot of debt, etc., etc. But you also got to understand, most people will not follow the Ramsey advice. You and I are the weird ones. You and I are the weird ones here. Your parents are normal. Hello. I have a family member who has some medical debts in collections. Few bills under $300 and one that is $2,000, I believe. I know Dave says to negotiate. Does anyone have any advice I can give them? Maybe someone who has been there before. I have not been there, but I do know the advice that you can call them at any time and offer them lower than that, like the $300. You can call them and say, hey, I've got $50 and you can have that today if you'll settle this $300 bill for that. This $300 debt, if you'll settle it in full for $50, you can have this $50. But you do not give them you do not give them access to any of your cards, debit cards, or your checking account. You do not do that. You do a money order, or you can get a Visa gift card for the amount. So like in this case, in this example, $50. And then you can give them that number, because that number, if they try to charge more on that, that won't work because you don't have any more money on that one. So yeah, you don't, yeah, and you have to get it in writing before you give them any money as well. And in writing an email from the actual business email, and that is acceptable for that. That's legally acceptable. Next week I will be paying off and closing a HELOC, including lender paid expenses. Can someone explain this to me? Sounds contradictory. Does it just mean they paid for expenses up front, but I need to pay back upon closing? Yeah, I don't know what that would be. The lender paid expenses? I don't know. But, I mean, it could be something like, it could be like, just like a way for them to get all of the interest back from you on it, because you are paying it off and you're not taking it to the full term that it would take normally to pay off. And so you can pay it off early, maybe, but you have to pay. It depends on the document you signed when you did the HELOC. Yeah, that's all. The only thing. I mean, lender paid expenses. I mean, there could be like some kind of research. They may be paying. They may have paid for like a credit report on you as well, that kind of thing. So it could just be stuff like that. 6-month emergency fund done. Excellent. Lots of sacrifice, worth every bit. Thank you, God. Baby step 3 is done. Now on to step 4. Excellent. And they made a nice piggy bank there and colored it in. Very nice. The money you allocate each month to go into your savings, would you use that money for about 12 months to accelerate getting out of debt faster? Again, people are nutty. And again, this is on a Ramsey run forum, and it's specifically about Dave Ramsey's advice. So I don't get it. People are nutty. What I see on baby step 1 says save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. It doesn't say add 1 cent to it more. I don't see anything about adding anything to it until step 3. And you do not do steps 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time. So that's going to be a NAR. as some of my friends in Australia say, mate. Nar, you're doing it wrong. So yes, you would be sending that all money, all extra money other than your expenses and minimums on debt payments. Every other bit of money that is not for something on 150% debt, I guess. Let's just go with 100% necessary. All of that money goes to debt, including any savings like the other person did, liquidated their brokerage account to pay off debt. And so, yes, that's a yes. You would not do that because you shouldn't have been doing that anyway. And also, the amount that's in your savings now, guess what? Bye-bye, bye-bye, except for the $1,000. You take that down to $1,000 and you put all that to debt immediately. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. Our local district still owes some teachers back pay from summer school. Also, retirement contributions are being deducted, but not showing up in people's retirement accounts, among other issues. I cannot fathom any organization allowing payroll errors to continue this long and not firing the payroll company and getting a new one, ... Yeah, it's the government. The government doesn't operate under rules that apply to even businesses or to you and me. So they get to get away with crap like this. For a while anyway. You know who wouldn't like this probably? The union. But who knows? They could have some deal with the union. Who knows? They could be in the contract even. That about it being, but I mean, as far as it being deducted but not showing up in your retirement account, the retirement contributions, that I have a hard time with. That would seem like that would be a federal law of some type, but it is a government entity that is doing it wrong there. So yeah, I would talk to my union rep. Not a big fan of unions, but in this case, I would talk to the union rep since you are in a union and you pay the dues, and so get your money's worth for paying the dues. Huey Lewis and the dues, right? We have 5 debts remaining. The lowest 4 are all less than $3,000. The largest one is $12,200. The minimum payment on that is $337 with 30% interest rate. The balance only decreases $67 per month, meaning $270 is going towards the interest. And indeed, that's because you're a dumbass for taking out that much money on 30% interest. You're a dumbass. So stop being a dumbass and pay it off. And the way you do that is pay off the lowest first. That is the proven way that keeps people interested by paying off more debts faster. That keeps more people interested than what you want to do. You want to make your life more comfortable, is what you want to do. And that's not the advice. We're considering moving to personal loan. You don't take out loans to pay off loans. That's, again, being a dumbass. The difference of 77 would now be, yeah, you're being a dumbass. You can do stuff your own way, but that's how you got in this mess in the first place, by doing your dumbass plan. My question would be better served to get a 0% credit card. No, again, more debt is not going to fix your problem. You need to be the one that fixes your problem instead. Move the $12K debt. Why or why not? Dave said so. How about that? And I just explained to you the reason why the smallest to largest thing is part of it. And so if you don't like it, you're welcome to not follow Dave's advice, and that's what most people would do. But I will remind you That's how you got into debt in the first place, and you apparently started to pay off debt for some reason. What is that reason? Oh, yeah, you probably don't like debt. Then why are you going to take out more? Just to lower the interest rate. That is, again, that's not the Ramsey advice. So good luck to you. We have been following the baby steps since 2007 and have the calculator is not the final word on the Ramsey advice ever. And I've been baby step 7 since 2019. Excellent. So about 6 years on baby step 7 for these people. Excellent. Today we contracted with a local plumbing company to have them dig into our sewer pipe in the front yard and remove 2 bundles of roots, like my mother-in-law used to say. She would say root instead of root. Also, she would say roof instead of roof. And she is originally from New Hampshire, and then moved to Ohio. Roots that have grown into it. You got to watch out with that, especially if they are the Last of Us fungus, cordyceps. You don't want that to come into your house, through your sewers. Causing our drain in the basement to plug twice in the last 5 years. I asked if they had a cash or military discount, and he said he could give us 10% off. Great. Yeah, hey, man, you can ask anybody for a discount at any time on anything. Worst thing they can do is say no. After the discount, it came to a little over $7,300. I was able to write a check for 50% down, and of course, we are cash flowing the whole thing. Great. So I have a situation. What's your sitch? I am having to replace my roof. Speaking of, do I wipe out my savings or get a loan? Now, what do you think? 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 What do you think the Ramsey advice is? What do you think the Ramsey advice is? On baby step 0, yes, even before you start baby step 1, that's where you decide you're going to change your mindset and you take loans off the table. You do not have an emergency fund and take out a loan to address an emergency. Now, whether this is actually an emergency or not, I don't know. If it's not an emergency, patch it and start saving for a new roof. Cash flow the patching and start a sinking fund to save for a new roof. I'm single and working full-time until the end of the year, so I could replace maybe half of the savings. Okay, you didn't say what amount that was and if it would cover the roof at all. If half of it would cover it all, so whatever on that. Illogical, Captain. But no loan. Loan is off the table if you're following the Ramsey advice. Question, and you don't do it immediately unless it needs to be done immediately, and if it needs to be done immediately, it's an emergency, right? So again, if it can be patched, you patch it. And if they tell you, well, I can patch it, yes, but you still will eventually need a new roof. Yes, I know, eventually. When do you think? Of the condition of the roof? When is your best guess of when I will have to replace it by? And he may tell you next month. He may tell you next year. He may tell you 5 years. You don't know. But that gives you an idea of when you need to have the money by in order to do that. Question. My husband and I saved cash for a new-to-us truck. Would it be beneficial to our credit? I'm sighing. to pay half now in finance and pay off the rest in the same month. Again, this person is on the Ramsey Baby Steps community on Facebook, a group that is run by Ramsey Solutions. How about we glance at the Ramsey advice, which is no loans? So the answer to this is no, no, and no, and no. Again, some of my Australian friends would say nar. Nar, you don't do that. Unpopular opinion, getting $30,000 in debt for a 10-hour wedding is not wise. That's popular with me, dog. That's popular opinion with me. That is not wise. No debt on wedding. Again, did you not hear what I just said about the debt? And that's a no. It doesn't matter if Princess is getting married. You don't take it out for your daughter. And she shouldn't be taking it out for herself. Neither should the groom. No, no, and no. What I don't know what's so difficult to understand about that. I mean, I guess it's not, it's just not what's taught. It's just not what's advertised to us constantly by seeing debt commercials over and over and over again. And just, oh, well, you know, that way we can do it right now. Because people think they have to have it right now. So what you would do in this case, if you are poor, if you're poor and you're getting married, you carry your butt to the justice of the peace and you get married, and then hey, guess what, when your finances are better, then you can like renew your vows or something, or then throw a big party then. Stop being stupid. Stop being stupid. I mean, with a fairy tale, guess what, $30,000 in debt doesn't sound like a fairy tale to me. That doesn't sound like happily ever after to me at all. Fun times. Should make that a clip. When is that? What time is it? It is 8:38, so 38 minutes in. Oh, I had a pen. There used to be pens in the world. I'll just have to remember it. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll take a picture of the... Actually, I'll just take a pic. I can take a picture of my screen. Do a screenshot there. All right. Sorry about that. Where was I? We have about $15,000 in credit card debt and $18,000 in our vehicle. I have a few thoughts on paying this off. Do you now? See, the problem is when people start to have thoughts instead of just following the advice, they're normally getting ready to do dumb stuff. Let's see. Obviously, sell unnecessary stuff around the house is the start. Okay, I like that one. But from there, I have a 401k that I currently put 13% of my income in. I could take money out. Nope. 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 So you see, what you could do is you could YouTube search Dave Ramsey, and then also right next to where it says, where you type in Dave Ramsey, you could put cash out of 401k. Cash out retirement. And see what he has to say about that. And what he would say about that if Mr. Ramsey were Australian, mate, he would say nar. So that's a no. And pay off at least the credit cards and then pay off the truck with extra payments. Or I can see, just, you know, it's just so much. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna take it out of the 401k so I can pay off debt. But no, it's gotta, again, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. And or I can decrease my, yeah, you're on step 2, babe. On step 2, there is no 401k contribution, or just 401, as Dr. John Deloney calls it, a 401. You see that? Here's where you do that. That's step 4. And I don't think you're on step 4. I think you're on step 2. As a matter of fact, I know you are, because you have credit card debt. And that would be pay off all debt except the house. So all non-mortgage debt. Using the debt snowball. Hey, guess what? And you're not on step 4 yet, so you stop contributing. If you were already contributing before you decided to follow the baby steps and Mr. Ramsey's advice, then you don't take out what you already put in there. Too many penalties. Too much in penalty. But you would stop putting any more in there. I can decrease it to what my company matches. That's not the advice either. See, why are you could have just easily found this out on the internet instead of doing too much thinking yourself. People always want to try to improve the Ramsey advice, but maybe he in this case doesn't even know the Ramsey advice, apparently. So you forego the match. You don't get to have the match because you were a dumbass and got $15,000 in credit card debt, $18,000 in vehicle. I got a great idea. Here's another way you can pay it off. You can sell that car and buy a beater, and that will get you out of debt faster, and then that way you can get back to your precious match faster. I'd like to do this fastest way possible. Worked taking money out. No, it's not worth it. Worth it. Forgot the H there, dog. The fastest way possible is for you to stop thinking and you to work more and spend less, and you can sell the vehicle. Sell that $18,000 vehicle, and then you don't owe that $18,000 anymore. Even if it does cost you $5,000, if you're $5,000 underwater on it. Cost you $5,000 in stupid tax because you were stupid for financing the vehicle. That's how that works. You're trying to do a lot of stuff wrong. Even though you're trying to do the baby steps, supposedly, and you're on the Ramsey subreddit, or not the subreddit, but the Facebook group that's actually run by Dave's company. But no, you want to have different ideas, your own little ideas about stuff. And also, see, here as well, okay? People are nutty, and this is how nutty people are. Say everything else was right on here, right? Everything else was fine. What is this crap? I have a 401k that I currently put 13% of my income in. Does it not say 15% there? People are nutty. Oh, I came up with my own little number. You're a dumbass. Quit being a dumbass. Cashed in and closed our investment account to pay off some debt. I think I read this already. Did I put that one in there twice? My bad. Next one. Just got to 10 years left on a 15-year mortgage. How to drive this thing down faster. You do not spend money on anything else. So you see, if you spend extra money on something, that's less money you can put extra to the mortgage. So say like that vacation you're thinking about, maybe you don't go on it until you get the house paid off. Or maybe instead of going every year, maybe you go every other year. That would be like a compromise. If one spouse wanted to pay off the mortgage faster and not go on vacation at all, and other spouse would like to go on vacation, that would be a great compromise. Go every 2 years instead of every single year. And that money gets put to the mortgage. Other than that, cut out any other dumbass spending that you're doing. You know, I mean, if you are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you have earned the right to make your own budget, and that can include saving for a vacation. That can include going out to eat a lot. You know, but again, that there's a price. There's a price to be paid on all of that. Then you can't pay down the house faster. So that's up to you. You are the one that has to make that happen. You can't use the same money twice. You can use it on whatever else, or you can use it to pay off the mortgage faster. How long is the Ramsey FCMT certification good for? That is Financial Coach Master Training, and that is what I took. And that is for life. It needs to be rescinded from some coaches that give the wrong advice. They don't give Ramsey advice. They just do whatever they want to. They are dumbasses. Hi all. I'm waiting to open some type of savings accounts for my 2 nephews. They are 2 and 9. While I hope one day they go to college, there's no way for me to know for sure. Does anyone have any suggestions of what type of accounts that I can start for them that won't restrict to only education while still earning? That would be a high yield savings account or brokerage account if you want to do investing. The thing is, you should probably put it in your name and have your will say that it gets left to them individually. But otherwise you keep it, because the problem of starting it and putting it in their name for a nephew, that's going to be a bunch of other stuff involved in that. And so you don't need to get that tricky with it by doing that. But yeah, people always want to do, this kind of stuff. And you hope they go to college. Do you hope they go to college enough to make that a requirement that they do go to college? And if so, if you think that's reasonable, then you just put it in a ESA or a state-run 529 plan, which are college specific. If you want to just give them the money at a certain point, then fine, yeah, you can invest it, because you have more than 5 years on both of them until they would be a young adult. And so that would be how that would work. And you starting it at the same time for the one that is 7 years younger is going to make a lot more money. So I don't know how you want to play that as well. You can also just cut the one for the now 2-year-old. You can just cut that off at the same amount if you want. You get to do whatever you want to do with this, but I'm just saying, to try to put open an investing account and put it in their name, when they're not like your children. When they're like a step away there, it may be too much trouble. But I mean, you by all means look into it, and see exactly what's involved with it. Because even I don't know what's involved with it, but I'm wondering, what's going on there. And also, see, the problem is, if it is in their names, they're minors, so their parents may get involved, and their parents may not be smart with money, and so that might not work out. And that's why you should just be custodian of it and keep it until they are adults. And then you just hand it to them without their parents being involved at all. We'll be finished paying off our house very soon, and I'd like to know more about what happens at that point. So for those of you who paid off your house, what was the process, if any, to get the deed, close the loan, and any follow-up procedures? Theoretically, the lender should do all of that without you having to be involved. They should send you the deed. They should close the account. They should refund you escrow. More to that. Was it as easy as making that last payment? Then the mortgage company took care of everything else automagically, which is a word apparently. I've gotten this one other time, and I thought it was like somebody just trying to be cute there, but automagically is a word. I mean, and it's, being done automatically as if by magic, but that's the definition automatically as well, though. So I don't know why the magically is needed, but it's fun, I guess. For example, what about the cash in escrow? That would get refunded to you. Was a check sent to you? Yes. Or did the mortgage company pay the insurance and taxes? Well, they would, as long as there's a mortgage, but when there's not a mortgage, then that's on you to pay for that. Our mortgage is with Mr. Cooper. If that makes a difference, I don't know if it does or not. Call Mr. Cooper and find out. So, yeah. I mean, lenders can be problem people. They can be a pain to work with because, a lot of people have trouble when they put on a check for extra money to the mortgage, and it says principal only, and they notoriously do not apply it to principal only. They do it wrong. And so you got to call them and get them to fix it. A lot is what they get calls on the Ramsey show about that all the time. So theoretically, they should take care of all of that themselves. And without really even talking to you. They don't really need to talk to you. They could just do all of that. But if you want to make sure, be a problem for them, go ahead and call them. Go ahead and call them and find out what is the procedure, what is going to happen now, and what is the timeline on it. You could ask those logical questions. How about that? $250 closer to paying off debt. Sold guitar to a good home. Excellent. Sad to see it go. I'm determined to get out of debt. I sold my CRF 230 dirt bike a month ago and paid off one credit card. Excellent. I just need to sell my YZ 450 dirt bike. That will get a big chunk of the last credit card down. Excellent. Then I can focus on paying off my truck. Could also sell the truck instead. I see my debt-free journey. I can almost taste it. It's on my horizon. Killing it. Yep, you can kill it faster by selling the truck. But you can also keep it if you can pay it off in 3 years. Pay off all of your non-mortgage debt in 3 years. You can keep anything at that point. So yeah, that's great. That's great. I had a guitar. Actually, an acoustic, an electric, and a Korg keyboard that I got on debt. When I was 19, 20, something like that. And finally I realized I was not going to be a rock star. And it also, learning to play did not come easy to me. Of course, I didn't do piano lessons or anything like that. I should have done lessons probably, or because they didn't have back in my day, we didn't have the YouTube with tutorials on everything. That would have been cool if I did. And I could do it now, and I still may. Maybe I'll just if I ever retire, maybe I'll just get a guitar and I'll just play. I used to think only rich people could pay off debt fast. Then I saw a family on here pay off $40,000 in 18 months, not by making millions, but by cutting waste, hustling, and sticking to the plan. Imagine that. Yeah, it's the crazy thing about the baby steps. What feels impossible at first actually becomes reality, indeed. One small win at a time, indeed, and that's why you do it that way instead of paying off the biggest first, even though the interest rate on that one is 30%, which you're a dumbass again for taking out a loan with that much interest. You are so dumb, sir. Not these people, obviously. What's the most unbelievable but true milestone you've seen or experienced while working the steps? Unbelievable but true. I don't think there was anything for me there. It's not really unbelievable as far as back in doing the steps, like steps 1, 2, and 3, and then investing, like nothing during all of that time really, like it wasn't like one specific thing, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself extremely lucky. Like, again, like something I would say unbelievable but true. But there's a lot of cases in which something happens to my benefit where it could have easily gone the other way. And so, obviously I'm very grateful for those things. And like a couple of like a couple of things with the my moving experience as well. Certain actually a particular apartment that I did want to move to had me apply, even though they knew that it wouldn't be until they had me apply like early September, late August, something like that. And they knew, I made sure that they knew that my current lease, which is still going on, it goes on till this Monday, October 13th. But they informed me that they did approve me, but they informed me that their policy is not to let somebody have two leases, like theirs and an old one, for longer than 2 weeks. And so this obviously would have been 3 or 4 weeks. Which I was fine. I had enough money to pay both at the same time. But I found this much nicer apartment because they didn't do that. Unfortunately, they got $50 from me for the application fee. Fortunately, though, the other like the deposit, etc., I got all that back. So it only cost me $50 to do that. But again, they should not have done that regardless. And probably they would have made me pay another because also me being approved, apparently being approved 3 weeks earlier, apparently that in their system that disappears. I'm like, yeah, I know it disappeared, but you know that I was approved. So why do I have to pay another application fee? And why do you have to do another, more checks and so forth? Why would you have to do that? And so, but again, that worked out. And there's not just like, so it's not really anything crazy, like involving a crazy amount of money or anything like that. And nothing I would say unbelievable but true. I always just think about that, maybe I am fairly lucky. Um, bad stuff happens to me, of course, as well. But when things that work out in my favor that could easily have not worked out in my favor, when that happens, I just think, oh, that could have easily not been. As a matter of fact, the odds are much lower that it would have worked out in my favor, but it did anyway. So I'm just very grateful about that. But unfortunately, I don't want as far as something like this, some unbelievable true milestone. You've seen her experience while working the steps. Just you pay attention to it, and you see by being intentional with your money, paying attention to your money and to the steps, you're seeing the progress, even on a daily basis. Even though you may not be paying something off every day, or making a transaction every day, but you can still see the progress you've done so far. Yeah. Oh, what time is it? Oh, goodness gracious me. Alrighty. So, that's been an hour. So let's see. Let me get rid of these so I don't do them again. Whoops. What in the world? Delete. Yes. Accept suggestion. I have it. Yeah. Okay. Man, what is it? Yes, delete. I have it on, what is this? Suggesting mode. I need to put it to editing mode. There we go. I don't know how that happens. That changes by itself sometimes. It seems like this. This is Google Docs, of course. Weird already. All right. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation assessment with me. That will happen via video conferencing, and you can do that by emailing me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work out a time for that, and a day, of course, as well. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively to Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. It was not taken. Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Same email address. Upcoming streams, and as always, subject to change. It changed this week. The Ramsey Show After Show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's going to be tomorrow, Friday, October 10th. Next week, unknown at this time. Answering your financial question streams. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time when that happens. Saturday and or Sunday, October 11th and or 12th. And that's all I know so far. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. I will work. I know this lighting isn't great. I will be working on that. Gonna build my desk, etc. My monitors are on my dining table right now. So I will work, although I got all of my stuff out of my old apartment today. Took the last bit of it out today, so I just need to clean it, and then I'll be done from there. And then I can make this more. You can see all the crap behind me. Yes, and I have too much stuff. I need to throw more stuff away. Alrighty. Yep. Again, thanks for watching, and as always, make smart financial decisions every day.